should come up here, my videos.
You want me to have you up front?
Yeah, a minute. Hello, everyone. Can anyone hear me? Uh-huh. Are we up and running? Mm-hmm. Okay. Hello, everyone. You can maybe tell me if you're here. Is anyone here? Good morning from Switzerland. Talia's here. Okay. So if someone can tell me whether you can hear me okay and see me okay, I'm going to step back. Jennifer, when you go down, go underneath and look. Okay, so then we're going to begin. So just point it toward me now. So I'll be standing mainly here. Fantastic. Okay. So brilliant. All right, I'll be with you in a second, everyone. Just trying to see if I've got everything happening. Ah. All right. Welcome. I'm thrilled to be here with you all. Happy New Year. Let's make this one a good one. Last year was a little bit of a write-off, let's face it. I'm just trying to make sure that you're all here still. New videos recently added, playlists. I'm just trying. It's hard to tell on my iPhone whether things are happening properly, but we'll see. And give me 10 seconds. I'm just going to quickly check my other. Doesn't matter. I can trim it later. It's not for the thing. Okay, so then I've got this. If I can just quickly just check that I've got. Oh, YouTube. Bear with me, everyone. I'm really excited to start showing you stuff in a few moments. And we'll be talking about 5-dimensional flow. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm looking forward to sharing a lot of fun things with you. I just want to make sure by checking my other computer that I'm actually on board. So live, looks like everything is okay. And yeah, it looks good, I think. Okay. Oh, maybe this one here. How do we make this one a bit less? Can we? I'm just going to go to my camera app, everyone. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Camera settings. Try and make you a little bit more attractive. And we're going to go back to 65. That's better, like that. Okay. And I'm just going to just lower this down a little bit. Play me. Come and just move it back a little bit like this. So then, am I all in the camera like that? Just lift the other camera, the other camera. So if I come to stand here, very good. I'm just going to lift this one back up a little bit. Let's adjust that one. So we want my hands and feet in the screen. Like that, like that. So from here, like this. Yeah, I'm in. Okay, good. All right, so we can all go ahead now, I think. All right, very, very exciting. So everything's recording. Good. All right, another tap on that one for me. Okay, that took a few seconds to organize. We're right in the middle of a thunderstorm here. And so the lights are going in and out, up and down. It's a mad, mad world, but we're going to have lots and lots of fun. So thank you very, very much for coming, everyone. It's a thrill to have you here again. And some of you are meeting for the first time. Some of you are my very dear old friends. So what I'm going to do today is go through something which we've been doing for a long time, and it's simple movements that can be done pretty much by anyone. You could do these movements, if you like, on a chair. So, if you want to, you could sit on a chair and do everything I'm going to offer you today on a chair. Or, if you prefer, do it standing up. And I prefer you, if possible, to do it standing up. And so what we want is you to stand with your legs about hip width apart when you're ready, and you're going to stand in this position. What we're going to do is go through a practice twice. First, I'm going to explain a bit about what it is. Then I'm going to show you 8 key postures, which are spinal postures. And then I'm going to take you through the practice a second time. And the second time, I want to do it like a dynamic meditative practice. Because my belief is that if you want health, happiness, and longevity, it's important to do practices that are sustainable, engaging, calming, effortless, and invigorating. What I mean by that is it's got to be fun to do while you're doing it, but it's got to be not stressful, but entertaining enough to be exciting, and at the same time giving you a calm feeling while you're doing it, but still moving blood. The benefits of exercise are obvious, and we want those, especially the blood flow and the moving of the joints. But the other benefit, leave it off, it's okay, leave it off now. The other benefit of the things that people do for nurturing their health comes from meditation. And meditation and relaxation exercises are very, very powerful. But most people, when they do meditation and relaxation exercises, don't get the benefits of moving blood, the cardiovascular stuff. So what we want for ideal healthy activities is to reach a state which the athlete will call the zone or the flow state. And to get that, what you want is to do something which will move the blood while keeping heart rate low. It will be something which will calm you at the same time as invigorating blood flow, because it's enhanced blood flow and enhanced parasympathetic dominant functioning in the nervous system of the body that will give you the longevity, the health, and the happiness that we need. What you don't want is a practice that only creates increased heart rate to create increased blood flow. That's just stress for making blood flow. And you don't want a practice which calms you down and yet the blood does not flow at all. Those two practices are okay. But if you can do a practice which gives both at the same time, the benefits are far in excess. So this is what I'm offering you tonight. But everyone is different. Everyone is different. So the exercises that we offer you, you have to know the right way of doing it. What we call this system is 5-dimensional flow, because the core of the body, the trunk, can move in 5 dimensions. When I say dimension, I mean there's qualities of movement. So everyone knows that the spine and the trunk can bend forward and backward. That's a dimension. The spine can also bend sideways. That's another dimension of movement. The spine can twist. That's another dimension. And another one often people forget is that the spine can go from its short S-shaped compressed spine to a more lengthened, much longer trunk. So you can actually move the vertebrae apart and get rid of that S-shaped curve in the spine and make it a straight line, which is longer. But also the more you lengthen, you actually gap the intervertebral segments and actually enhance blood flow between the segments. So this lengthening and shortening, I'll call the first dimension. Forward bend and back bend is the second dimension. We'll call it second dimension. Third dimension is bending sideways. Fourth dimension is twisting. And then the fifth dimension is a subtle one people forget, and that's that the trunk, which is not just the spine itself, but it's also the chest, the abdominal cavity, the muscles that wrap around it, can expand and contract. So I'll call the fifth one expansion and contraction. So the expansion, if you see of my lower back, I can round it out, and my belly can round out. Looks ugly, I know, but now I've expanded my lower trunk. Or I can pull my lower back inwards and pull my abdomen in. Now I've narrowed my lower trunk. And I can do the same with the upper trunk. I can round out my upper back. At the same time, I can expand my chest. And now I've expanded upper back and chest, and that width is there. But I can push in my upper back, push in my chest, and now I've narrowed the chest. So, of course, I can do the same thing with both at the same time. It just doesn't look as obvious. So watch. I can expand my lower back and upper back, and I can expand my chest and my abdomen. That's a full expansion. For me, it's difficult to do all of it. And then I can push in my lower abdomen, lower back, upper back, and push in my chest and abdomen, and now that's a narrower back. This is more subtle, but when you learn to expand and contract the body in this way, what you get is the possibility of creating differential pressures. And so it's the same if I move my hands apart. Pretend my left hand is the front of my body and the right hand is the back. If I pull them apart, you hear a suction. And that suction will pull air into the space between my hands. So when you learn to expand your body by rounding out the back and expanding the front, that will tend to pull air inside your body and essentially allow an inhalation to happen. When you contract and push in the back and push in the front, that will push the air out of the body. So what I want you to think in this practice is I don't want you doing any fancy breathing. The best result will come is if you breathe naturally. And then the breathing naturally will allow you then to move the body in a way which is effortless, and the movements themselves will make you breathe in a specific way. So this then you can do very, very easily because your focus should be on the movements, making them beautiful, making them feel nice, not look nice. It's about feeling more than it can look nice, but it must feel nice to you. Don't make your movements look necessarily like mine. Make them go in the same direction that I'm going, but maybe not as far, or maybe a little bit further, depending on you. So, for example, I might say to you for this next position, bend your knees. Now, when I bend my knees, I can bend them a tiny bit, but it's hard to see. That's enough, though. Or you could bend them a bit more, or a bit more. A bit more. When you bend them this far, it's quite difficult for most people to sustain that for a long time. You could go all the way down as well, but then people tend to collapse. So my suggestion is to come a third of the way down and then occasionally come back up a little bit. Don't hurt yourself. And again, I offer you the possibility that if you don't want to stand, you can sit on the floor. Be cautious if you've got knee problems or hip problems. Be cautious if you've got lower back problems. Be also careful for any joint in the body. In this practice, I'm not going to put my hands on the floor, but the application of this practice can lead into all sorts of gymnastics and martial arts. I'm just giving you a simple first step. And so this simple first step, we're going to work with these 5 elements or 5 dimensions of the trunk. And the first one, which I said to you is shortening and lengthening, looks like this. I'll call this the short spine, and you can try it now if you like. So bring your knees to bend, bring the arms in front like this. This is the short spine with a short trunk. And then lower the sitting bones, round out the lower back and upper back. Lift your shoulders if you can. Lift the collarbone. And then if comfortable, not compulsory, you can lift up your arms as well. You don't have to. And now we've got a lengthened trunk. Always the arms and the hips are optional. Okay? And in these positions, you always want to be as relaxed as you can. And so now come back down. Then those first 2 movements we'll call part of the first dimension, which we'll call the earth dimension, like from the earth to the sky. The second movements are forward and backward, which we call the fire dimension, because they tend to create heat. So for these movements, the simplest one for bending forward is touch your collarbone, touch your pubic bone. Please face toward me. So you stand facing me. So if I was you, I'd be standing like this, looking toward a screen. So you do the same. I'm not doing mirror image, but every once in a while I will face you. Sometimes I'll go sideways because I want you to see the side of my body. But for this practice, if all of you always keep facing me, then you'll get the better idea. And what you want is no strain. So always check, are you relaxed? So the third and fourth movements, part of the second dimension called fire, will be bending forward and backward. So touch your collarbone and pubic bone. And the easiest way to bend the body safely forward, just the trunk, not the hips, is to touch collarbone and pubic bone, then push the pubic bone up and the collarbone down, and then expand the belly and move your throat forward, chin up. Then if comfortable, push your shoulders forward and turn your shoulders in and stretch the wrists. Notice my pubic bone is under the collarbone. Notice the front of the hips are quite lengthened. Then check that you're relaxed and you can breathe, etc. So this is a simple forward bend, and it does bring heat to the body. Then that position is actually what you'd be using for things like arm balancing, etc., if you ever wanted to do that. Now, the next position is also a fire dimension, and we do expansion. So now keep the back lengthened, make the front longer. So now consider pubic bone and collarbone again. Push the pubic bone down and forward, make the belly expand and lift the collarbone up. So you lengthen the front of your body. And then if comfortable, keep the sitting bones down so you don't let the lower back crush. Move the shoulders back and turn the shoulders out, then lengthen your wrists. For this one, keep your chin in and the neck slightly back and check you're relaxed, as much as possible relaxed. Then from that position to come out of the pose, don't move your shoulders, move your sitting bones down and round out the lower back, come out of the pose. Beautiful. The third dimension, which we could call the water dimension, is to do with sideways. So it's that sideways movement. It's a little bit like, you can think of it like the waves moving back and forth. So for this, face me, just bend the knees slightly, and it's about lengthening one side of the body. So drop the left hip slightly, round out your back slightly, and lift the left shoulder blade. Then from there, without moving your head above the hips, if comfortable, lift up your left elbow and lift up your left arm. And now you push your shoulders apart, lengthen the back of the body and the front of the hips, and this would be enough, but if you wanted to, you could also lengthen your side left hip. So if you want to, move the hips toward the left and lengthen the left side of the body. And then check that everything is lengthened but relaxed and you're calm. Then it's good to come out of the pose by lengthening both sides of the body and coming down again. So we'll call that part of a water dimension. Now we can lengthen the other side. Again, bend the knees, round the back out slightly, drop the right hip, then lift up the right shoulder blade and lengthen the right side. Keep your head above the pubic bone between the hips. If comfortable, lift up your right elbow, then wrist, then fingers if comfortable. Notice I've got my shoulder right past the ears. And if that causes tension for your neck, try bring your shoulders more forward as they go up. If your lower back feels uncomfortable, lower your sitting bones. Round out the lower back. And importantly, relax the abdomen. There's no need to tense it here. Then if you wish to lengthen further the right side, move your right sitting bone, your right outer hip, toward the right side. Lean on your right leg more. Bend the knees slightly and push the shoulders apart. Lengthen your fingers, check they can move. Shoulders apart, check they can roll. Check the neck is free. Okay. And then from there, bend the knees, take both arms back up, and then bring the pubic bone forward and bring your arms forward and down. So that's the third dimension. Then the fourth dimension is a twisting. So when we twist the body back and forth like that, you can imagine the twisting sound is sometimes what things like tornadoes do. So for that reason, we call the twisting the air dimension. And so this is like an elemental practice as well. 5-dimensional flow means we've got earth movements, fire movements, water movements, and now we've got air movements. So what I'd like you to do is face toward me again, bend the knees or sit on a chair if you want to, lower the sitting bones, don't move your hips. Instead, round the back out slightly, and we're going to twist from the back of the body first. So you lengthen the back of the body, twist to the right side, then keep the back lengthened. Now expand the front of the body and open the arms. Now don't move your hips, so keep your pubic bones still twisting to the left slightly. Turn your navel to the right. And then from there, turn the left shoulder in and turn the right shoulder out. But keep your eyes on me. So turn your head over the left shoulder and make your neck safe by lifting the left ear up and the chin in slightly. And here again, check. Fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, hips are free, and the abdomen can breathe comfortably, and your face is soft. Now we can go further, but you have to be very careful for your knees. So if you wish, and your knees are okay, having turned your trunk but not the hips, now push the hips slightly forward, tighten your knees a bit, and then twist the hips as well. You want to make sure that doesn't hurt your knees. And one of the ways you can do that is by squeezing your right heel inwards and squeezing your left big toe inwards. When you do that, you'll feel the back of the legs become tense. If it hurts your knees, simply do not move the hips. Now to come out of the pose, we could just twist to the left, but it's good to do an intermediate pose. So for this one, turn the navel and right arm onto the left and cross the arms. Then expand the back of the body, expand the front of the body, then gently push in the back and push in the front. Now we're ready to twist to the second side. So round the back out slightly, keep the hips and head where they are and twist to the left side. Then from there, keep the hips and head where they are and expand the front of the body. Turn the right shoulder in and left shoulder out. If it hurts to lift your arms, keep them down. Then from that position, check you haven't moved your hips yet, so turn your pubic bone to the right. Turn just the navel to the left. If you're doing this, it's important that you can still breathe in your abdomen. And if you can't breathe there, it means you're probably holding your abdomen much more tense than you need. Then from that position, if you want to turn further and your knees and hips are good, push the hips forward, tighten the back of the legs if you can, and then turn from the hips. Now to make your knees safer, it will help if you squeeze the left heel in and squeeze the right big toe in. And then look over the right shoulder with the right ear lifted. So essentially you'll be looking at me still. And that way you'll be able to follow what I'm doing. Check again, fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, hips are free, and you can breathe comfortably. To come out of the position, it's good to do this intermediate position where we bring both shoulders forward. Then expand the back of the body and bring both shoulders back, expand the front. Then bend the knees and bring the shoulders forward and up and forward and down. Lovely. And then to come out, we again lengthen, and that resets the body in this earth-like movement, and then shorten, come back down again like that. This is a simple practice. It's simply 8 main movements which go through these first 4 dimensions of short, long, which I'll call the earth dimension, then forward and backward, which we call the fire dimension, sideways, we call the water dimension, twisting, which we'll call the air dimension, and within this, there's also going to be expansion and contraction. I won't go too much into detail with the expansion and contraction, but you'll find that as we move from one bit to the next, the body naturally expands and contracts. So for example, if you feel from this position, go down, take the shoulder blades up, and notice if you breathed in, because probably you would have, because by lifting the shoulders, that causes an expansion in the volume of the trunk and will make air come in. From that position, if you pull the shoulders down, naturally air goes out because you've compressed the body. So this is changing the ether dimension. Then same thing, if we come from this position, bring the pubic bone and collarbone closer together. There, it's natural for air to come out because you've shortened the front, which compressed the front, which pushes air out. It reduced your volume. But from there, if you bring the collarbone and pubic bone apart, like this, it's natural for air to come in. Why? Because you've expanded the front of the body. And that will pull the air in, like when my hands pull apart. And then same thing from here. If from this position, this forward bend, I get you to lift up. So come in this position. From that position, lift up the arms as I lift them in a moment, and turn your thighs slightly in. If you turn your thighs inward slightly, you'll feel it may stretch a little bit around the sacroiliac joint, which is really great for releasing lower back pain usually. Then round out the lower back, upper back, and lift the shoulders. And notice when you did that, air tends to come in, because that expanded the back of the body. So this expansion of the back or expansion of the front is part of the ether dimension, and when your body expands or increases in volume, it will cause a vacuum-like pressure that will suck air in. And then when you come out of these positions, when you again shorten part of the body or push it inwards, that will actually cause air to go out. Now to really understand this fully, you need to have a control of your breathing muscles. This is beyond the scope of this course, but I mean, if you're interested, write to me and I'll send you some more details, and maybe you're interested in some of my breathing courses. But look here, many people will talk to you about the importance of lower abdominal control. And so lower abdominal control means I can do this. I can take my lower abdomen and draw it inwards like that. So bringing the lower abdomen in like that is important. And as I do that, notice my lower abdomen is in, but the upper abdomen is out and relaxed. That's an important control. And what I can also do is I can bring my chest in. So I'm controlling first an expansion in my pelvic floor, then the lower back, then the upper back. Then I expand chest, and then the abdomen. That made air come in. All I did was expand. I didn't think breathing. Then I can contract the body, and the way I contract it is in a sequence. I contract the lower abdomen, then I push in my lower back and upper back, then I push in my chest and push in my abdomen. This sequence of expansion and contraction I can teach much more easily if we have a special breath control class, but you'll see me do it, and some of you who are more experienced, you work towards this as well. So let's go through them in a little bit more detail. That was an introduction to the system. The system, therefore, has got these basic 8 movements of the trunk, which are the first 4 dimensions, and then built into it will be this 5th dimension of expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction also happens in changing volume with the lengthening and shortening, but it's all built into one system. And so what we can do first is practice the 8 movements. And what I usually do to make it more accessible and a little bit less risking problems in people's body is I give you linking movements between them. So for example, before changing from lengthening the left side, I could go lengthen one side, lengthen the other side, but it tends to cause compression. So between lengthening one side and changing the other side, I'll lengthen both sides first. Then I'll lengthen the other side. And it makes it a little bit more smooth and easier for the body to take. Similarly, rather than twisting to right, twisting to left, which can be jarring for the body, we'll twist to right first, and then we bring both shoulders forward and back, and then forward again, then twist to left. And then again, come back to the center and go forward, back, forward. And this forward, back, forward gives a release of the trunk between. It is possible to do it without that, but if you've got mild back problems or energy problems, it's good to work with this balanced way. After going through these basic 8 movements with the little resetting parts between them, then what we'll do is work on a couple of combined movements and the simple ones. So the simple combinations that the trunk can move in will be learning how to combine things like shortening and lengthening and bending forward and backward. So if this is shortening the body, so this is shortening and lengthening rather, and this is bending forward and backward, what we can do is combine them by going short forward bend, and then long forward bend, expand, and then push in the back and push in the front. So it becomes then this movement where you're actually getting shorter and longer while bending forward and backward like that. And there's a few different variations. But that's a beautiful combination when we learn it, and I'd like you to practice it according to how you feel. Of course, you don't need to use the arms, so when you see us doing these movements, an easier alternative will be to go from forward shoulder to backward shoulder, and then up and then down. So you're essentially just rolling the shoulder blades like this. And that would give the same effect in a simpler manner. You don't need to take your arms up and down. Then another simple combination we'll work towards is giving forward bend and twisting. So forward bend and twisting is, let's turn this off, I thought it was off. So to get side bend and twisting. So side bend and twisting will be things like this. This is a side bend, and these are twists. But when you do movements which are going back and forth in the same dimension, it tends to block the energy. It can feel jarring. So a better thing to do is to move in a way which actually gives you more fluid. And so fluid will come if you do something like a side bend, then twist. And then lengthen the other side, then twist. So I lengthen my right side, twist to the right. Lengthen left side, twist to left, and I can continue in this way. And this movement like this, what I'm actually doing is not just moving my arms. I'm moving, you see my whole core is moving. So you see my navel is moving back and forth to the left. These are movements which have to start not just in your arms, but the trunk has to move. This is about the 5 dimensions of the trunk. And actually, when I talk about 5 dimensions, the core of the trunk is where we need to move from. The core is actually between the pubic bone and the navel. That's right deep inside there. It's very, very deep inside there. So what you can do is just touch your pubic bone and your navel and see, can you move between those parts? So can you take the pubic bone to move one way and the navel to move the other? And you can see I can twist in a way where they move apart. Now just do me a favor, try something. I want you to tighten your pelvic floor and exhale and pull the navel to the spine. Now try and move the pubic bone and navel apart. And notice it's very hard to move them. And it's very difficult to breathe in a relaxed way. So this is what I want you not to do in this practice. Do not lock your core. Rather, I want you to move from the core and even breathe naturally from the core. So let's begin a little bit more systematically, and we'll go through this. And I'll be going through it twice. The first time, the practice, I'll do it with instructions, and we'll move smoothly into it. And you do whatever you need to do. Then the second time, we'll repeat the practice and do it in a way where I won't talk. You'll be following me visually and making it as much as possible a meditative practice. But before we begin, it's just good to just align the muscles and the joints. And the one that often becomes a problem for some people is the knee. So take a moment just to realign your knee. And this exercise, some of you, if you want, I can send a little video link about it, but it's something which can be really good for your knees and can fix a lot of knee problems. So what we'll do is you can step your right foot forward, come onto your left toe tip, round the back out slightly, lead from your left lower core and step the left leg back. Then twist the navel to the right, shift the weight over to your right leg, and then with the hips level, turn your left thigh in. Then shift the weight back to your left leg, and again, round out the lower back, relax the abdomen, and shift the weight onto your right leg again. And if comfortable, lift your left leg just a bit off the floor. You can hold a wall if you wish. And now if you feel your hamstring, it should be firm, while your buttocks should be soft. If you're not sure, hold the hands in the hips, and turn left thigh out, left thigh in. And if you feel it, when your left thigh turns out, your buttocks will go hard. If you turn your left thigh in without moving the top of the hip, the left hamstring will go hard and the buttocks go soft. This is great for your knees and your sacroiliac joint. Now, if you want to really, tone around the knees, pull up your kneecaps, turn the left thigh in, push the left thigh to the right, and spread your toes. Then pull the outer foot to the knee. And this will really tighten the left knee. Then bend the left knee and release. And you'll find then that your left knee feels a little bit more toned. And this is something which is a really useful thing to do before doing a practice like this. Let's try the other side. Now, Jennifer, could you check the screen that's coming okay? So it's sometimes tricky doing a live broadcast because you're never sure really whether it's being broadcast properly. Just look at that screen there. And but what we're doing is also recording in a separate camera. So what we can also do is not that one. Check this one here. Because look at this flickering a little bit. That's what's going on the screen. Okay, so I've always got a better copy, and if I need to, I'll upload a better copy of this for you later, and you've got your replay later on. So now let's do the second leg. Let's do the second leg. So lean on step forward onto your left leg, come to your right toe tip. Now round the back out, step back your right leg, again round the back out and twist to your left side. Relax the abdomen, shift the weight onto your left leg, then keeping the hips level, turn your right thigh in, go back onto your right leg, and again I'll turn sideways so you can see, round the back out, expand the abdomen, relax it, and then from there shift the weight onto your left leg, and if comfortable, we lift the right leg up. Lifting the right leg in the air is always optional. But if you're going to balance on one leg, three things help. One is to look at the floor for balance. Two is bend the standing leg for balance. Three is grip with your toes for balance. Then you can take your arms a bit wider, lift the right leg off the floor. If balance is an issue, hold a wall. But by turning your right thigh in without dropping the hips, keep the hips level, then that will make your hamstring firm and your buttocks soft. If you turn right thigh out, buttocks goes firm, hamstring goes soft. So keep the hips level, turn your right thigh in, and you'll feel hamstring will firm, which is great if you've got knee problems, and it helps release the lower back. Round the back out, expand the abdomen. Now if you want to further tone your knee, pull up the kneecap, spread your toes, Move the right thigh toward the left and pull the outer foot to the knee. Don't forget always to check you're relaxed by moving your fingers and shoulders, checking the neck is free, relax the pelvic floor, and breathe into the abdomen. Then bend the knee, release. Okay, so that should prepare you a little bit to begin. Now what we'll do is we'll start in a moment. Jennifer, do you want to join with us?
Sure.
Okay, so
It's not
give me just 2 seconds, guys, and I'm just going to check that there is proper
So
thingies.
when I'm trying to bring it up like that, it's just, maybe
Okay,
it's normal.
okay.
So it's
Yes, I
trying
can
to
hear.
recognize.
I can hear you. Good
Are
morning from
you,
Switzerland.
are you,
Can't see your hands. Okay, so I'm just going to check everything's okay with you. Let me just see what's happening. If anyone can give me feedback. Can't see your hands. I'll go back a little bit. Yes, okay. So
the camera for this computer phone.
there's nothing for that one. That's what's going on the television. Okay, so I'll go back. I'm going to, hopefully everything will be okay. I'm going to, so Jennifer, if you can, just, yeah. So you come, just flick that camera again, and we'll begin a practice-like thing now in a moment. Okay? So now I'd like to introduce you to Jennifer, who's going to come also, and she'll practice with us a little bit. And that way what you can see is always 2 angles of what we're doing. You'll see Jennifer standing about here, and you'll always see a side view of her. But with me, you'll see either a front view or a side view or a front-on view. So do what feels good for you. Don't force, don't overdo. And Jennifer, thank you very much for being here. And she's worked with me for the last couple of years, and an amazing teacher all by yourself. And so please join in now. Remember, you can do the whole practice sitting on a chair, and each exercise can go less or more according to how you feel. Okay, so if you're not seeing everything, then sometimes the visuals don't work well with the internet. Then I will upload a good link of this later on, and you can see it again later if necessary. So please, face towards us. Position yourself like I am now, facing towards your screen. And sometimes you'll be seeing me like this. Other times you'll see me do a side view, perhaps the other side, so I'll face Jennifer. And sometimes you'll see also me facing you, but always you keep facing us. And what we want is to practice in a way where you're creating a meditative state. The first time we do this, it's a little bit less meditative because I'll be talking to you. The second time, I want you to forget what I've said and just follow intuitively. Okay? So to help get that intuitive following, I'm going to give you visual instructions. We'll try and make them a little bit different so you choose between Jennifer and I. And I'll also make a sound. And that click sound means I'm now moving to the next position. So you can then follow my click sound, and it means copy me, if you can, subject to feeling good. When I make 3 clicks, it means keep doing the little sequence that we've established and just keep repeating it. Okay? And subject to feeling good. You can do less or more than what we do. All right, but always check that you're feeling calm and relaxed. If you overdo it, it'll be very, very difficult. But if you underdo it, it can become boring. So it really depends on your level of strength, flexibility, and fitness. Start standing if you can with your knees bent, seated if you prefer, and face towards us and bend the knees slightly and lift the arms. Now, when we're doing this position, we'll call this position number 1 the short spine. So this position, the knees can be bent a little bit like I am, or much more like I'm doing now. You can have the hands shoulder height, or you can take the hands by the side of the body. But I want you to lengthen and relax and make that your internal mantra. So wherever you are with hands down or up, knees bent more or knees bent less, lengthen your fingertips, but check the fingers can just move like playing a piano. Then we relax 5 places, 6 places. Lengthen the shoulders, bring them apart so the shoulder blades go apart, but check the shoulders can do a gentle little roll which frees up the shoulders. Then lengthen the back of the neck by bringing the head down and the neck back gently. Back of the neck lengthens. Then expand the belly, lift the collarbone and move your throat forward, chin up slightly so the front of the neck is as lengthened as the back. Then from there, check the neck is free. Just move it a little bit. Then Push your sitting bones down and forward towards your toes. So you release around the lower back. And now if you push the sitting bones slightly apart, I want you to relax the pelvic floor. Sounds funny, but feel as if you're about to release to go to the toilet. I know it sounds funny, but it will release a lot of the things that block your energy. So relax the pelvic floor. And what can help you is you just roll the hips a bit if you can. So you make a little circle with the hips. Then also release around your lower back. So you bend the knees enough to drop the hips, and the lower back will lengthen like a string will lengthen if you with a weight on the end of it. It's like drop the hips like a weight on a string, which is your spine, and then check you can breathe comfortably into your abdomen. So inhale to the abdomen, and then exhale, passively relax. Just natural breath. And what you can also do when we're doing this is if you want to, for those who can, you roll the abdomen, like Jennifer and I are doing like this. And this rolling abdomen is more advanced, but if you can't do it, and most people can't, that rolling can really help to release internal organs. But otherwise, just use it as your signal to go, they are rolling their abdomen. It means all I have to do is inhale to my abdomen and let the air come out passively, and then forget the breath. Remember, natural breathing is best. Natural breathing has got 5 things. 1, inhale low. 2, exhale passive. 3, don't breathe so much. 4, you can forget the breath, get on with the postures. And 5, breathe through your nose. So then next thing is the face. Every once in a while you'll see us do this. Make saliva, swallow it. Move the jaw a tiny bit, the lips a tiny bit, blink a few times, then roll the eyes. And then from that, you'll find that you start to get a little bit warmer. Then release. Second position. So we go round out the lower back, upper back, bring the shoulders forward and up, stop there, or if comfortable, lift the elbows up, and if comfortable, lift the arms up. And now from this position, taking the hands as high as you can up, move a bit closer to the wall if you could, that way. Thank you. So in that position then, it doesn't matter if you can't quite see the arms completely, but from that position, you get a sense that you're lengthening your whole trunk. Notice the shoulders go right past the ears. So you get a sense of lengthening, but relax. So lengthen your fingertips, but check the fingers can move. Lengthen your shoulder blades, but check the shoulders can roll. Then lengthen your neck if the neck is free. Lengthen between the sitting bones and expand the pelvic floor. Maybe roll your hips. Round out the lower back and breathe into your abdomen or roll the abdomen like we're doing. Then relax the face. And notice if the heat comes to the body. It's great to relieve lower back pain as well. Now the third position. So now we shorten the front, bring collarbone and pubic bone closer together. Keep looking towards us, but push the pubic bone up and forward, the collarbone down and forward, and then turn your shoulders in and lengthen the back of the wrists. So push the pubic bone forward and up, expand your abdomen and collarbone down. Then move your throat forward, chin up, and check fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, pelvic floor relaxed, and you can move your hips, and you can breathe into your abdomen or roll the abdomen if you wish. Passive breath out. Then relax the face. And this position is also great to relieve lower back pain for most people. Don't do anything which doesn't feel good though. Now, next position, number 4, we expand the front. Move the pubic bone down and forward. Keep the back long and expand the belly. Lift the collarbone. Lengthen the front. Keep the collarbone lifting. Move the shoulders back. And now turn the shoulders out and extend the wrists. Here, chin in, neck back, jaw relaxed, and lean back slightly, subject to not shortening. And if you're doing this really relaxed, you'll find your front is very firm in your abdomen, but the sides are totally soft. What allows that is if you to relax. So relax by lengthening the fingers, check they can move. Shoulders apart, check they can roll. Neck lengthened, chin in, neck back, jaw relaxed. Pelvic floor relaxed and the hips can move. Back lengthened, but your abdomen can breathe. And then face can relax and move a little bit helps. Lovely. And that's position 4. Now release out of it by moving your lower back and lower abdomen backward and down. Allow the shoulders to roll forward. And then reset by going shoulders forward and up. And then forward and down. Now we'll do position 5 and 6. We lengthen the left side of the body. Start with the left lower back. Round it out. Lift the left lower back, upper back. Lift the left shoulder. If comfortable, bring the elbows apart and bring the fingertips close, but you don't have to move the arms. Then if comfortable, take the arms apart, but you don't lift the arm. It would be enough just to lift the shoulder. If it hurts to lift your arm, don't do it. And then from that position, check once again. Fingers are lengthened, but they can move. Shoulders apart, but they can roll. Neck is lengthened, but it's free. And the hips are relaxed and your pelvic floor relaxed. And then back lengthened, but your tummy can breathe or roll and your face relaxed. Then keep the left arm up and we reset by bringing the right shoulder in front and up again, which could be arms up or just shoulders up to you. And then go forward and down. Now we do position 6. Relax again. Round out the right lower back, upper back, lift right shoulder. Then if comfortable, right elbow. And then bring the fingertips to touch if you wish. And then take the arms up. So take the shoulders apart. And now once again, check. Fingers are lengthened, but they can move. Shoulders apart, but they can roll. Neck lengthened, but it's free. You might move it just a tiny bit to check it's relaxed. Pelvic floor relaxed and maybe the hips are free to move. And then back lengthened and your abdomen can breathe or gently roll. Now again, relax the face. And notice if there's warmth that comes to the body. Warmth without the heart racing. Reset. Bring the arm back in front. Take both arms forward and up and both arms forward and down. Then from there we move to position 7 and 8. Start by rounding the back slightly. Keep the hips and head still facing towards me. And then expand the lower back, upper back. Lift the arms slightly and twist to the right, lengthening the back of the body. Keep the back lengthened. Push the hips toward the toes and expand the belly and the chest. And then turn your left shoulder in and right shoulder out and look over the left shoulder. Notice the left ear lifted, chin in slightly, and check. Fingers can move. So lengthen your fingers, then check they can move. Shoulders pulled apart, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, but check the shoulders can roll. And then neck, lengthened but relaxed. Pelvic floor, lengthened but relaxed. And you can breathe into the abdomen. Don't look for stretch. Look for just simple movements without the feeling of stretch. So in other words, bend a little bit less than you possibly could, less than your maximum. Then from there to come out of the position, we reset in the middle. Move your navel and right arm under the left so your arms cross over. Turn your thighs in slightly and expand the back of the body. Then expand the belly and chest and move the shoulders back. Then draw your lower abdomen in and round out the lower back. Push the shoulders up, forward, and then chest and arms down. Then from there, expand the back and twist your spine, but not the hips to the left. And keep your head looking towards us. Keep the back long. Then expand the front of the body. Right shoulder turn in, left shoulder turn out. And then with the back of the body lengthened, the pubic bone still twist to the right. Breathe naturally into the abdomen. Check the fingers are lengthened, but they can move. Shoulders apart, but they can roll. And the neck is free. Check the pelvic floor is relaxed and your abdomen can breathe naturally or roll. Then to come out of the position, keep your right arm where it is. Move your navel and left arm under the right. Then expand the back of the body and turn the thighs slightly in. Keep the back long and expand the belly and the chest. Move the shoulders back. If comfortable, draw your lower abdomen in and round out your lower back as you lift the shoulders and drop the hips. Then shoulders forward and down and your chest and abdomen can come slightly in. Now we finish with a reset of taking the back to lengthen. Then we can the chest. Take your shoulders past the ears if you can, provided it feels okay for your neck. You'll find you can lift your arms as high if you move your shoulders more forward and then release the neck. Check. Fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, pelvic floor relaxed, and breathe into the abdomen. Face soft. and then arms forward and down. But this was going through the simple first stage. It's actually stage 3. You could move the spine by itself, stage 1, which is just this movement, or the trunk. Or stage 2 uses the shoulder blades to help. Stage 3 uses the shoulder blades, then the arms. And stage 4, which we can try next, uses so the spine, say, twists. Stage 1, shoulders move into position, stage 2, arms position, stage 3, and the hips can move, stage 4. So we'll try stage 4 if you can. If you're sitting on a chair, you don't move the hips. If your knees don't feel good, don't move the hips. And some of you will find it better just to stay in the first stage. So begin again. We go a little bit quicker. I'll introduce the clicking sound now. So when my click happens, you know you can follow. So from this position, follow what you like and go. Fingers lengthen, can move. Shoulders apart, shoulders roll. Neck lengthen, check it moves. Pelvic floor expand, hips can move. Back lengthen, abdomen can breathe or roll. And face can gently move or relax. Then, second position, the lengthened spine. Round out, lower back, upper back. Shoulders back. Belly on the chest. And once again, stay there. Check, fingers, shoulders, neck, hips, waist. Now if you want to, the stage 4 version would be to push the hips over the toes and then raise the heels up. And as you do that, push the sitting bones down. And if you wish, take the arms higher and the knees lower. Make your knees more stable by squeezing thighs in, pushing the knees out, and lift the outer feet. Then breathe into the abdomen. Fingers, shoulders, neck. Check you're relaxed. Then, position 3. Come back down on your heels and bend the spine forward. Turn your shoulders in. Stay there, or the grade 4 movement, push the hips toward the toes and optionally raise the heels. So then bend the knees further if you wish, less if you need, and again, stabilize your knees. Thighs squeeze in, knees push out, lift the outer feet. And check. Fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, hips can move, pelvic floor, abdomen. Feeling relaxed and able to breathe in the abdomen, and the face relaxed. Notice if there's warmth. Lower the heels, position 4, keep the back lengthened, and expand the belly and the chest. Move the shoulders back. Turn the shoulders out. Stay here, or push the hips toward the toes. Optionally raise the heels up. Then keep the collarbone lifted, and if you wish, bend the knees. And again, thighs squeeze in, knees push out. Lift the outer feet, and check. Fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, pelvic floor relaxed, abdomen can breathe. Face soft. Then lower the heels again. Move the lower back backwards and reset. Take the arms forward and up and arms forward and down. Position 5 and 6, the water dimension. Lengthen left lower back. Lift the left shoulder if you can. Bring the shoulders and elbows apart if comfortable. Take the arms apart if comfortable. Make sure the back is lengthened, left side is lengthened. Now the option for grade 4 to move the hips. Move your hips to the left side. Take all the weight on the left leg. Keep the sitting bones down. If you want to, you can tighten the right thigh. So I tighten by pull up the kneecap and turn the thigh in slightly. It allows a chance for that right leg to tone. So push your shoulders apart, lengthen your fingers, stay here. But this position can be great preparation for other side movements. So check, fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, pelvic floor relaxed and the hips can move, back lengthened and the abdomen can breathe or roll, and your face is relaxed. Then from there, keep the left arm up, bend the knees, right arm back to the center, left arm stays up, right arm joins the left, and then the arms forward and down. Then we lengthen the right side. Drop the right hip, lift the right shoulder. If comfortable, take the arms and elbows apart. Take the hands apart if comfortable. Stay there, or with the back lengthened, right side lengthened, option to lengthen the right hip. Hips to the right. Bend the right knee, come to the left toe tip, and push the shoulders apart, relax your throat, lengthen the fingers, check they can move, and if you like, it's a nice chance to pull up the left kneecap, Turn the left thigh slightly in and tighten all the left leg. Lengthen the back. Make sure there's no tension. And you've got the feeling of fingers and shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed, pelvic floor and abdomen as simple and relaxed. So you can breathe into your pelvic floor and abdomen. Relax your face. And then keep the right arm up. Bring the hips back to the center, left arm in front. Right arm stays up, both arms go up. And then arms forward and down. Then from that position, expand the back and then twist the trunk to the right, lengthening the back. Move the hips over the toes and expand the front of the body as you twist further to the right. Don't move the hips yet, so you keep the back lengthened, the pubic bone twisting to the left. Get a sense of the left shoulder going to right, right shoulder going back, and turn left shoulder in, right shoulder out. Help your neck feel safe and relieve the neck by bringing the chin slightly in. And as you look over the left shoulder, lift the left ear slightly. Make sure your jaw feels relaxed. Now, if you want to go further, you could move your hips. To do that, make sure your knees are safe and push the hips over the toes. Then twist the hips and protect your knees by squeezing the right heel in, turning left thigh in. And check again. Fingers can move, shoulders can roll, neck is free, pelvic floor relaxed and the hips can move, back lengthened and your abdomen can breathe. And then from there, navel and right arm under the left. Turn your thighs in, expand the back. Expand belly, chest, pull the shoulders back. Draw the lower abdomen in, round out lower back, lift the shoulders. And then chest and abdomen down. Then a slight forward bend, hips and head stay still. Twist the trunk to the left, lengthen the back of the body. Hips over toes, expand the front of the body. Remember, keep the back lengthened, a sense of the pubic bone twisting to right and the navel twisting to left. Lift the right ear with the chin in as you look over the right shoulder. Stay here. Or if you want to twist your hips with care for the knees, push the hips toward the toes and then turn at the hips. Protect your knees by squeezing left heel in, right big toe in, and check again. There's length, but relaxation at the fingers, at the shoulders, at the neck. Pelvic floor relaxed, back lengthened, and the abdomen can breathe or roll, and your face is soft. Now keep the right arm where it is, and move the navel and left arm under the right, and expand the back of the body as you turn your thighs in. Expand the front of the body, pull the shoulders back, then squeeze the heels slightly inwards, drop the hips, lift the shoulders, and then shoulders forward and down. Lovely, and then reset by expanding the back of the body. Arms up, reach back from the chest, and stay there. Or push the sitting bones down and raise the heels up. Arms higher, knees bend further if you wish, and thighs squeeze in. Knees push out, lift the outer feet, and then come back down. Lovely. And this is a simple way now of going through these simple spinal movements, these simple trunk movements, the 8 main ones, and now we combine them. So now let's combine the first 4 movements of lengthen, shorten, forward, backward, bend. Start with your knees slightly bent. Turn your thighs in. Expand the back of the body. Lift the shoulders slightly. Expand the front of the body. Lift the arms higher. Then from there, push the hips and shoulders forward towards your toes. Then shorten the front of the body. It's 4 stages. Stage A, expand the back of the body. Stage B, expand the front of the body. Stage C, push the hips and shoulders forward. Stage D, shorten the front of the body. A, expand the back. B, expand the front. C, push hips and shoulders forward. D, shorten the front. You don't need to use your arms. A, just bring the back to lengthen. B, expand the front. C, push the hips and shoulders forward. D, shorten the front. So with or without the arms. A, expand the back. B, expand the front. C, push the hips and shoulders forward. D, shorten the front. 1 click means just follow me. Calmly, soft the throat, face and eyes. And so 1 click you can follow But once we achieve a pattern, I'll do 3 clicks, and it means keep doing the pattern we've created. And you can do it in the same way we're doing it. Notice that Jennifer's doing the way without the arms. I'm doing it with the arms. You don't need to lift your arms up, but it's good to keep moving the shoulder blades if you can. So as we're doing it, just gently follow. And as you're doing it, think now. Are your fingers lengthening, but can they still move? Do that for a few moments. And are the shoulders moving up and down smoothly, but check your neck is relaxed. As you move your hips up and down, check the pelvic floor is relaxed. And notice the hips are making a circle. Actually, the shoulders could also make a circle as well. And so gentle, not a big circle, it's very gentle, and you can go slower than we're going if you wish. And check that you can breathe naturally. And if you start breathing naturally, you'll notice that here, follow again. A, expand back. B, expand front. C, push in the back. D, push in the front. A and B, allow inhale. C, D, allow exhale. And you keep going. Soft throat, face and eyes. And now we can keep doing this in various positions. So let's try it in a different position. I want you to keep the body moving in this smooth path. Keep your head and hips facing forward. But this time, when you come up, turn your navel to the right and go down on the right side. Come up over your left leg and go down on your right leg. Come up by lengthening the left side, go down over your right leg. So look over the left shoulder as you move gently and smoothly, and keep sensation in your fingers. Come back to the center. Then, again in the center for a while. When we're in the center, you come up on your heels and go down on the front of the feet. Come up on your heels to the middle of the feet, then down on the front of the feet. So again, back up. Now twist the navel to the left and go down more on your left leg. Come up more on your right leg. So you're moving from the core when we do this. So don't lock your core. Feel like before your hands go to left, your core goes to the left. And where's your core? Between your navel and the pubic bone, inside. Come back to the center. And we go down to the center. And now we can stay here if you wish, or we can try a couple of simple positions. And so shift the weight to your right leg, and then come to your left toe tip. Then lead with your left leg and come back to like a skateboard position. So you shift the weight from the left leg going up to the right leg going down. Left leg going up and the right leg going down. And so this movement, you don't have to lift the arms so high, and you can go slower than we're going or faster if you wish. And so this is a simple position. I could make it harder by making my legs much wider, or easier by bending the legs less. Now we can do a second position, and that is as you shift the weight from the left leg coming up to the right leg going down. Next time you shift the weight from the left leg to the right leg, raise left heel up and continue. So the heel is raised now, and always keep the knees a little bit bent, not too straight, not too bent. And so this movement can bring a lot of blood flow. Keep the fingers lengthened. Now we do a third position as we shift the weight forward and backward. Go from your left leg, weight on the right leg, and step the left leg forward to the left toe tip. So you go down on your left toe tip, come up on the right heel. Go down on the left toe tip and come up on the right heel. Notice you don't have to lift the body very far. Round out the lower back, upper back as you come up first, and then push in the back as you go down. Now, a fourth position for those who can do it, shift the weight from your left leg to your right leg and lift up the left leg. Bring it behind you, and if comfortable, put the foot to cross behind you. Make sure your knees are comfortable, and you'll see us move a few times to make sure the knees are in a comfortable position, and continue. Up, expand, and down, gentle contract. Expand the back, part A. Expand the front, part B. Push in the back, part C. Push in the front, part D. And so you're expanding and contracting. The weight on the back leg as you come up, and the weight on the front leg as you go down. You don't need to lift the arms or shoulders fully, but always check your shoulders are going up and down. Then from there, back to the center, adjust your feet to be comfortable, and continue the smooth movements. So we're going to do this simple combination of earth and fire dimensions, lengthening and shortening and forward and backward bending. But now we'll do it in 4 different positions. So from this position, shift the weight to the left leg, come to the right toe tip, lead from your core and step the right leg back. And then go up on the back leg, the right leg, down on the front leg, the left leg. Up on the right and down on the left. Always keep your head above the hips and relax. Check the fingers are lengthened, but they can move. The shoulders go up and down. In fact, the shoulders go ideally in a circle. The shoulders are moving in a circle. The hips are moving in a circle. Then get the feeling that the weight is shifting from the right leg as you come up to the left leg as you go down. And the next time you go on the left leg, raise the right heel, come to the right toe tips. Up on the back leg and down on the front leg. It's a bit like a lunge. It could be a lot wider, of course. You could make it really deep, but there's no need. It can be really shallow. Doing less for a longer period of time gives a much better meditative practice. Now again, shift the weight from right leg to left leg. And the next time the weight comes to the left leg, step the right leg forward and come to the toe tip of the right leg. Down on the right leg, up on the left leg. And make it fluid, palms opening. So as you go up and down, notice the palms are sucking as they come up and gently pushing as they go down. So you feel suction by the fingers pulling up on the way up. Palms go down the way down. Then shift the weight back from your right leg as you go down to your left leg, come up and slide or lift the right leg behind you. Touch the floor when you need, and then adjust the legs to be comfortable. The legs can be crossed or normal if you wish. Then again, up on the back leg, careful for your knees, down the front leg. Up on the back leg and down the front leg. Expand the back, then the front, and then push in the back, push in the front. Keep the eyes on us so you can follow less or more than us. Then come back to the center and adjust. Back in the center and adjust. And now we're going to combine forward bending. So just then it was forward bending and lengthening and shortening and back bending. Now we're going to combine side bending with twisting. So go all the way up, pause for a moment, and reset by lengthening, sitting bones down, shoulders forward and up, and your fingers can move. And shoulders can roll, neck is free, hips are free, abdomen can breathe, and the face is soft. And now we come down and begin with a side bend. So lengthen the right side of the body, and then from there we add a twist. So keeping the right side lengthened, twist to the right side and relax. Now lengthen the left side, and again lengthen and relax. Now twist to the left side, lengthen and relax. Again, we've got 4 stages. Stage A is a right side lengthening while twisting to the left. Stage B, right side lengthening, twisting to right. Stage C, left side lengthening while twisting to right. Stage D, left side lengthening while twisting to left. Lengthen the right. Twist the navel to the right. Drop the left hip, lengthen the left. Twist the navel and arms to the left. Keep the head and hips still. Right side lengthen. Twist to right. Left side lengthen. Twist to left. 1 click means follow. And 3 clicks means keep doing the movement. And as you're doing it, notice that my hips are pretty much staying where they are. I sometimes drop one hip as one shoulder lifts. So the same shoulder, same hip move apart or come closer together. But I'm not really moving my hips to left or right. Also, my head is staying in the same position pretty much. But it's my navel that moves left and right. Now, you could do it just with the shoulder blades and the trunk. You don't need to move your arms. But if it's comfortable, it looks very much like backstroke swimming. And so this backstroke swimming can be really, really good. Now, come back up and then go back down. Let's add a different addition to that. Lengthen the right side of the trunk and twist the trunk to the right, not the hips. Lengthen the left side of the trunk, twist the trunk to the left, but not the hips. Lengthen the right side of the trunk. Now, optionally, lengthen the right hip. So you move the hips toward the right leg. Now, twist the trunk to the right. Optionally, and with care for your knees, twist the hips to the right so the weight goes on the right heel. Now lengthen left side of trunk, drop the left hip, lift the shoulder. If comfortable, shift the weight to the front of the left foot. So now the left hip has moved. Now twist the trunk to the left. Then, if comfortable, twist the hips toward the left heel. So now we've got the 4 stages, but with the possibility of moving the hips. A, lengthen the right side of trunk. Optionally, lengthen right side of hip. Bring the weight to the right big toe. B, twist the trunk to the right. Optionally, move the hips toward the right heel. C, lengthen left trunk. Optionally, move the hips to the left big toe. D, twist the trunk to the left. Optionally, move the hips to the left heel. Lengthen the right side trunk. Optional hip. Twist trunk to right. Optional hip to right heel. Lengthen left trunk. Optional hip to left big toe. Twist left trunk. Optional hip to left heel. And continue. Trunk, then hip. Move your navel, then the shoulders and the hips. So try and think, move your navel first, or the core, which is actually between the navel and the pubic bone. And then without any tension, let the shoulders and hips follow, but be careful for your knees. Now you can make the arms quite low, or you can make the arms go quite high, like a deep backstroke. And as you're doing it, you don't need to move the hips much, but you can actually get a feeling that you're getting a rest. For every movement, think about the rest you're getting. So as we're doing it, as we shift the weight to the left leg, the right leg can be totally relaxed. Shift the weight to the right leg, left leg can be relaxed. When the left arm goes down, the right shoulder is relaxed. The right arm goes up, left shoulder can relax. So focus on the relaxing part. Don't focus on the work. And if you notice, as the weight's going for me now, left toes, left heel, right toes, right heel. Shift the weight to left toe, left heel, right toe, and right heel. I'm moving in the shape of a figure 8. So if my tailbone was a paintbrush on the floor, it would be drawing like an infinity sign, a figure 8, around the left foot, then around the right foot. And this is a beautiful way of gathering energy. It's what we actually do when we walk and when we swim. So make the movements bigger or smaller, and now we'll complete by coming to a smooth flow version of the first spinal movements. Lengthen the back and go up, from short spine to long spine. Then go forward and down. Bend the knees if you wish. Keep the back lengthened and expand the belly and chest. Lower abdomen in, push in the back, let the shoulders lift and go forward and down. Then reset, expand the back and front and come forward and down. Now, lengthen the left side of the trunk and perhaps the hips. Lengthen and relax. Bend the knees, come back to the center. And now expand both sides of the trunk. Come forward and down. Then lengthen the right side of the trunk. First the trunk, then the hips and shoulders if comfortable. As much as you wish, as little as you need. Keep the right arm up, come back to the center, and reset. Then come back down, and we twist, ideally from the hips first, so the spine first, hip second. So if you like, you can shift the weight to left leg as you lengthen the back, to the middle of the feet as you expand the front, then shift the weight to the right leg, and bring the right arm onto the left, and bring the arms to cross back in the middle. Expand the back as you turn your thighs in, expand the front, pull the shoulders back, bend the knees, lift the shoulders, and the shoulders forward and down. So once again, shift the weight to right leg as you twist to lengthen the back. Come to the middle of the feet to expand the front. Go on your left leg as the left arm comes onto the right. Come back to the middle as the arms cross. Expand the back once again. Expand the front. Draw the lower abdomen in, push in the back, lift the shoulders, and shoulders forward and down. And now a little finishing sequence. Back, lengthen, front lengthen, and then move the hips forward, bring down the arms. Bring the hands in. 4 stages here. A, expand the back, bring the arms forward and up. B, expand the front, take the arms wider and higher. C, bring down the arms, bend the knees slightly. And D, bring the arms in close. A, keep the palms close without touching, move your fingers. B, take the arms wider, but let the shoulders move a bit. C, bring down the arms, let the neck be free. And D, check the pelvic floor, abdomen is relaxed. A, hands forward, see if you can feel heat or energy between the hands. See if you can feel the energy between the hands as the hands go wider. Bring the arms down, check your neck is relaxed. Hands come in. As your hands go closer, perhaps you can feel energy between the hands. Again, forward, fingers move, outward, shoulders roll, downward, neck relaxed, and then inward. Hands come close without touching. Now pause. Can you feel increased blood flow? If you can, you should feel like a warmth between your hands, perhaps even an electromagnetic-like field. So bring one hand up and one hand down. Can you feel energy between the hands? This is a reflection of increased blood flow. It's almost like a magnet between the hands if you've moved your blood in a way which kept you calm, but moved blood. Now bring down the arms and come back to a more meditative position. Now if you want to, you could sit on a chair. If you want to, bend the legs less or more. And if you want to, keep the arms high like we are now or much lower. And allow a few moments to lengthen and relax. We'll do this whole practice again, this time without me talking. Just follow the clicks and movements. When we get to this point at the end, if you want, you could sit or lie on your back and relax. So it'll take about 20 minutes to go through what we've done. So follow our clicks and movements. Face, as I am now, towards your screen. You'll see Jennifer as a side view, me either a back view, side view, or front view. But remember, the purpose of this practice is to create a zone-like state, like the athlete in the zone or in the flow state. It's a meditative state where you feel the practice is sustainable, engaging, effortless, calming, and yet invigorating so blood flows while you're calm. So keep your mind peaceful. Don't think so much. So now all you have to do is follow visually what we're doing, less or more than we're doing. And nothing should be painful. So modify so nothing feels painful. And always check. The fingers can move. The shoulders could roll. The neck is free. Pelvic floor relaxed. And the abdomen can breathe naturally, whether it's hard or soft, or roll like we're doing. Periodically, check your face, jaw, lips, and eyes are relaxed. So less or more than me. Follow the clicks and movements 1 click meaning follow, subject to feeling good. 3 clicks, keep doing the pattern. Look for warmth without the heart racing, blood flow without it needing the heart to go faster. Look for mobility and flexibility without feeling stretch. Look for strength coming without feeling tension. And look for energy while just breathing naturally and not forcing the breath. What blocks the energy inside you is overtension, overstretching, overbreathing, and overthinking. So think tense less, stretch less, breathe less, think less, and move actively from your core. Don't lock the core. Breathe naturally from your core. Don't force the breath in any way. And move fluidly or gracefully. Less or more than us. Follow. I hope that you feel good after that. You can, if you wish, lie down for a while now if you want to. But the idea, ideally, is that you practice in a way where you're relaxing all the way through. Not waiting to the end to relax, but take the practice. You can watch it again a few times and do it in a way that it's meditative. So that what you look for is to feel good while you're doing it, not just after. And it must be physically, physiologically, mentally feeling good, which means don't overstretch, don't overtense, don't overbreathe, don't overthink. Make it so actually look for the feeling of getting warm in your body without the heart racing. Look for the feeling of the body loosening up from that practice without strong stretching. And look for the feeling of becoming strong in a practice like that while feeling really relaxed the whole way through. Look for a feeling, especially when I stop talking, that you're doing something intelligent for your body, but you're staying really mentally peaceful and quiet and calm. A meditative, dynamic practice. And the way we do this as much as possible is to move from your core. Don't lock the core. Move actively from your core, between the navel and the pubic bone, between the top of the hips and the tailbone, inside. Breathe naturally, breathe from your core, and move fluidly and smoothly. And in this way, then, you can get a practice that's good for the physical, physiological, and mental body, and can give you benefits for health, happiness, and longevity. Thank you very much for sharing this time with us. If you want more, you can go get practices like this at our websites. You can go to simonborg-olivier.com and we have practices there, and we'll get more of them. And also go to yogasynergy.com and we have lots of practices there. And so this is something which we call 5-dimensional flow. Sometimes we call it spinal synergy. And we use it as an introduction to come into many other postures. It can be used as an introduction to dance, gymnastics, modern yoga, martial arts. And if you're doing something like modern yoga, you can use these movements to transition from one pose to the next. So I want to say thank you very, very much for being here. Jennifer, thank you very much for doing all this. And I'll check the recording. If it didn't come so well, I can also put up another recording. I might just have a moment to check any questions that might have come. And thank you for the nice comments. Yes, sometimes when my arm goes up, the microphone's a bit muffled, sorry. And thank you for your nice comments. We do our best. Bless you, and thank you very much, everyone. Love you heaps. And keep sharing good energy and loving information inside your body, and then use that as a model for how you treat the world. Bless you and love you. If you want, also, I do a lot of this on my membership website, and it's called the Health, Happiness and Longevity website at simonborg-olivier.com. We have lots of practices like this. We also do something similar in some of the other courses we reach as well. And join us. I'm about to start my membership website class now, where every week we do a 2-hour live class, which I'm about to start now. You might be interested in that. Thank you very much. Write to me if you wish, Simon at simonborg-olivier.com. Bless you, thank you, and lots and lots and lots of love.